Good evening, future officers. Welcome back once again to Toppers Academy Morung Express newspaper analysis for the 8th of July 2026. I hope you all are doing well and preparing with consistency and determination. Under the new NPSC pattern, newspaper reading is not just about knowing the current events, but it is about developing an analytical ability that is required for both your prelims as well as for your mains answer writing. The same goes with your NSSB, though I'm not mentioning about NSSB much, but whatever is covered for the NPSC is equally important for your NSSB examinations. Also, given the fact that since now the NPSC have declared their new syllabus or notified their new syllabus, the NSSB exams will also take a shape of the NPSC prelims type of questions. So it is important for you to go through some of the previous year's NPSC prelims question papers as well. In today's session, we will analyze the Morung Express from a strictly examination-oriented perspective. As we discuss the important news, try to connect that each issue with your general studies syllabus and understand their constitutional, administrative, economic, or social dimensions. Keep your notes concise, focus on the key facts and the concepts, and always think about how an issue can be used in your answer writing. Maybe in terms of the dimensions, maybe giving some perspective, some analogy, or writing some facts and figures. So pay close attention to those few points. So stay focused, keep your notebooks ready, and let us begin today's analysis. And let's get started. So the first article for today is from rupees 1.7 crores to rotting fields, cabbage crisis in Nagaland vegetable village. Now it is important because many of you might not know this, but there's a village in Kohima by the name Zhavame village. Okay, I'm not pronouncing it well, I'm sure for that, but excuse me for that. But Zhavame village is known as the vegetable village. Okay, so because of the conflict that is going on in Manipur, the supply chain of the Zhavame village vegetables have affected drastically. It is said that 70% of the cabbage production or the vegetable production from the Zhavame area is supplied towards the Manipur side, and the remaining 30% is it is transported or say supplied towards Kohima and Dimapur. But once the conflict started and once the blockade have become more severe and situation become more severe, the demands have drastically dropped. At the same time, Rastabi blockade can be so they cannot transport it to Manipur. On top of that, even if those people who are transporting, they are taking a high cost or high charges for transportation because they are risking their lives, of course. So the perfectly aligned rows of lush green vegetables that once adorned the foothills of Kapamutsu Peak and the fields and the valley of Zhavame village now paint a picture of gloom, even as acres of cabbage plantation are currently rotting away in the fields owing to the lack of proper marketing linkages and access. So one very important focus that we have to keep in mind is marketing linkages, okay, or market linkages, or we can write supply chain. Supply chain is important. Ever since Zhavame was declared as a vegetable village, okay, Zhavame is also known as the vegetable village by the Nagaland Horticulture Department from the year 2010. Remember the year. The village has been known for its organic produce of hundreds of metric tons of cabbage, with almost every household engaging in the cultivation for the last 2 decades. Currently, more than 350 households cultivate cabbage. Okay, 350 households to Pishas Day. Normally in many villages there will be 100 households, 200 households, 250 households, 300 households. Of course, some villages are there where there are more than 1000 households and all. Ito to alag cases. Wali bi chutu village kan be. Kunba village tido in some areas of Nagaland, in some villages there are just 10 households. Be wali bi records te 100 household nishina ponai dibo. Na. Ito tosta household thakibo. Nali pista household thakibo. Ito an bi thaki jay. So 350 households to it's a lot, okay, when it comes to village area. Ito to akwa nishina village to manon iman nai. Major tribesmen country. We have moved towards the urban settlements like the towns and cities. So 350 households they cultivate the cabbage that has unmistakably enabled the hundreds of farmers in the village to become self-sufficient. Parents who earlier struggled to send their children to schools for lack of sufficient income could afford to keep them in better schools and colleges, while a good number of schools dropouts have also found a new purpose in life, even as they are hired for tasks such as packaging and loading. So, school enrollment also have become better because their parents can fund their children for education. On top of that, those people who are becoming unemployed because of dropouts and all, that can be come crew like the purpose by the opportunity by no. So the past records indicate that the revenue generated from the sale of these vegetables crossed rupees 50 lakh in the year 2009 to 10. Okay, this was even before the village was declared as a cabbage village or vegetable village, while the annual income was rupees 99.5 lakhs in 2010 to 11. So within the span of 10 years, they have increased almost double the sales. So it reached 99.5 lakhs. And the year 2011 to 12 saw an annual income of rupees 1.5 crores. Just imagine, exhaled 1.5 crores PKS a day, and subsequently 1.7 crore in 2012-13. So 2012-13 tak to 1.7 crores punisi. And the data after that is not given, which means it might be very higher than that also, but the data to record couldn't nai ito bare. So the village suffered immense loss during the COVID-19 pandemic. However, the pandemic also sparked a major shift in consumer habits and increased the demand for organic vegetables. So we know that in Nagaland, most of the vegetables that are grown are quite organic as compared to what we are getting in the market or sectors coming from far off places, leading to the revival and surge of cabbage cultivation in the village. The organic produce of cabbage in Zhavame has been consistent in the recent past until this season after severely being hit by the marketing crisis. 41-year-old Motongaulo Krocha, who has been associated with the marketing the produce for the last 3 to 4 years, related to the Morung Express that despite the quality of the cabbage being much better this year, it is really sad that we are facing this marketing crisis. With the better quality produce, cabbage farmers were also expecting to sell better and more, he said. As the last village bordering the Manipur state, about 70% produce of the Zhavame cabbage goes to Manipur, while about 30% goes towards Kohima and Dimapur. However, the current ethnic tensions in Manipur state has severely affected the marketing of this produce, he pointed out. With imposition of the travel restrictions from Senapati to Imphal, he highlighted that they have to travel via the Ukrul that takes about 12 hours, double the time as opposed to taking the main highway. Last year, while a pickup truck carrying about 70 to 80 bags of cabbage cost around 12,000 rupees per trip, this year though 60 to 65 bags laga trip TB 26,000 to 30,000 loise. So it will be transportation cost be high, which means the net profit will be reduced to great extent. If this crisis continues, it will be a loss. It will be too big a loss. So for most years in the past 2 decades, buyers would come to Zhavame village and book the cabbage field to further market them. Till last year, a bag of cabbage yielded a farmer rupees 700 if it is bought at the spot. This year, a bag of cabbage has drastically dropped to rupees 180. Okay, this year a bag of cabbage has drastically dropped to rupees 180, containing an average of 40 to 45 kgs. Highlighted Vivotso Tome, the chairman of the Zhavame Village Council, even while reiterating that several of them are rotting in the fields. If this continues, it will be too big a loss for the village, he marked. So if individually so few things that we can keep in mind. One is what was that? Supply chain, importance of marketing linkages. Here the National Agricultural Marketing Place comes in handy, can come handy, right? So, and then supply chain diversification is important. Okay, the word diversification, I think it will be better. Supply chain diversification is important. Ita khali Manipur focus kuna 70% kodhado. It can now look towards other areas also for exports. That is very important. Ekta chakai gladi mon kitia depend kore. Sometimes in a crisis am the mon to buy. Just like India have suffered a lot because of the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, because we are so much dependent on this road for our oil trade. Nah? So you have seen what happened when there's the Iran conflict started and the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz happened. India kiman severely affect with this. No. That's why diversification of our supply chain is very important. So that is one thing. And one another factor that I would also like to mention and add to this is storage facilities is very important. Kuan isna ek par field pra kati disule pia ho jao. Field te thakile to 3 days thakyo pare. Field te pra kati na olale 1.5 to 2 days thakyo. To field te rakile. Holi field bi kiman days thakyo ho. Tala time khatam hoine tabi buji jao. But if we have some cold storage facilities can, we can keep it for a longer period of time, right? So that it can even last for almost a month or say 1-2 weeks. Also, itu time the one marketing grow le karne chaka pisarigina we can sell it off. So storage facilities is also important. And if we have a better means of transportation and communication, transport and communication, here we're talking about roads. Okay, better roads, then it will reduce the time. And then hila te teme chugo lagan bi it won't be pachi jawo. So means of transport and communication to correct ro lage. This is a long term measure. Okay, so the quick jaldi sawole andu it one hobo short term measures kan de. And one very important thing that I really want to the government to look into and also the entrepreneurs to look into is what was that, value addition de. Value addition mo kita ko it means food processing is very important. I've seen in some of the Korean and Japanese videos that tagan to ekta pickle kan ponai thake ho itu ki mate mo ni chana udan channel likhi diu ekbar ole pickle ekta ponai thake cabbage pra na cabbage pra pickle kan ponai thake aru itu tu whole year garni tam ponai na ekbar rakhi de no whole year stock kura na itu khai naka manan bi bishi khai de don boli moi to nakhai to moi nam ne jani re. So but then I think it's in Korean or Japanese culture, I forgot, but they used to make this pickle cabbage la na anyar dan store gura ge. Just one example na cabbage la alak purpose bi pisha je will be it will be the shortest example there. So food processing, that is the value addition is very important. Okay, so it can be focus crucially though. I think losses from one ek part actually though, like we say, when there's a certain situation where some disaster, there are some difficulties initially, but also it gives us an eye opener. It gives us an opportunity to look beyond our comfort zone, right? So when we look beyond our comfort zone, we find new ideas, new meaning. Okay, so maybe let's take this opportunity not as a defeat but as a new to look for further opportunities for improvement and also materializing on this very issue. Okay, so that is all that I would like to share from that article. Coming to this one, FNTA ENPO TEFers rally says MOA non-negotiable. Here I don't want to expand any longer. Yesterday we have already covered this one. Government pra itu decision diu na pare center aro government la macho tv tet loko je shenia situation ita ise. Ito pra the ENPO decided to shut down the Eastern Nagaland area starting from 10th of July. However, the government muy kuanishina जो बातों से नहीं मानता है वो लातों का फूका होता है ना. Ito kanisina love force use kori na bisde hi kota manishe. Ito right the government to sincerely consider karo as a discussion karo as a emergency assembly session will be convene korna discuss karo regarding the FNTA karne. So since the government has promised, our government, they are bigger organizations, so they live on these promises and commitments, so respect to kuro like that decision though. So the ENP leaders, maybe they have also decided to respect the decision that the government has taken with a good hope that something fruitful might come out of this discussion, and that's why they have cancelled the shutdown that they have called for the 10th of July. Okay, itulah aja. So let's go to this one. Nagaland rolls out AI-powered digital agricultural ecosystem. Let's go through this article and see what is this all about. In a major step towards modernizing the state's agrarian sector, the Department of Agriculture, Government of Nagaland, on Tuesday launched the Unified Digital Agricultural Ecosystem. Unified Digital Agriculture Ecosystem. The ecosystem is a comprehensive digital platform aimed at eliminating the supply chain bottlenecks, enhancing transparency, and delivering a real-time agricultural intelligence to farmers across the state, including the most remote corners. The project was inaugurated by NMLA and Advisor for Agriculture Mathang Yantan at the Directorate of Agriculture in Kohima, in the presence of Director of Agriculture Sanuzo Nino and other senior officials. The Agricultural Production Commissioner described the initiatives as a game changer for the state's agricultural sector. The new ecosystem brings together several cutting-edge features. Among the key highlights are AI-driven market intelligence, which will provide farmers and department officials with price forecasting and demand analytics. Okay, helping them to make informed decisions on what to cultivate and where to sell the best at the best prices. It is very important. It is Zhavame village carnibi in your very important. I hope that this will be leveraged to its best, and Zhavame village problems at the earliest we can resolve that, because they are very much well established when it comes to cabbage farming and agriculture. So we cannot break such a backbone for our state economy, And also see, when the villages are doing well, when the villages are rich, or when the villages become wealthy, the state itself will become wealthy. That is very important. Nije fali strong hoikina utisho gulido, itu opor TV strong ho jao. Okay, well we opor ekla pra khali sob ki kina sao paro, central funding ekla to na paro, right? Additionally, the deployment of Internet of Things, the sensors and gateways will enable the real-time soil and weather monitoring, supporting precision farming and proactive responses to environmental changes. So to bridge the information gap, the platform include an AI-powered advisory bot by the name Kheti Manu de. AI advisory bot name do tando Kheti Manu inaze, which offers expert advice and technical assistance in local dialects, bridging the information gap that has historically hindered productivity. Officials said that the launch positions Nagaland as a pioneer in implementing the digital agricultural mission in the Northeast region. The system also integrates GIS services, an enterprise resource planning module for departmental management, and a robust e-hub system connecting all district offices. Nagaland is setting a new benchmark for digital governance in the hill state. This is not just about adopting new tools, it is also providing our farmers with the agency and infrastructure they need to thrive. The department leadership said, with this ecosystem, we are ensuring to the benefit of digital progress reach every village, empowering our farmers to become competitive players in the modern agricultural economy. The project is now operational, with all district level officers fully integrated into the system, marking the beginning of a digitally connected transformation for Nagaland's agricultural future. This is also very important. Okay, we know that African swine fever aigina kauri pishi muri jeshe. So Waka DISHA highlights rupees 1 crore ASF losses, that is African swine fever loss, rupees 36 crores meat cap. So the District Development Coordination and Monitoring Committee DISHA meeting in Waka on Tuesday highlighted the impact of the African swine fever, which claimed 374 pigs. Itu tetas kan maunte rakhule kam nai de. Itu to exam ne nai wo. And caused a loss estimated to over 1.4 crores, while officials also pointed to an annual shortfall in local meat production valued at more than rupees 36 crores. The meeting, held at Deputy Commissioner's Conference Hall, was chaired by members of the Parliament, the Lok Sabha, that is, he himself is the DISHA chairperson, Supong Marin Chamir, and co-chaired by Deputy Commissioner, that is K. Matang Changlao. He is the Deputy Commissioner, the DC of Waka. Okay. According to the DIB report, Chief Veterinary Officer KN Zobemo Hamzoy said Waka's annual meat requirement is 3,614 metric tons against a local production of 1,964 0.67 metric tons, leaving a deficit of this much. So the metric tons are worth about 36.64 crores. Just imagine they in Wokha alone. Diana demand fulfill kurina bi arobi napongchado 36.64 crores in 1 year. Imagine the market size of this kauri mangso in Wokha alone. Now imagine your own district, imagine Dimapur, Kohima, and imagine the whole Nagaland. There is a huge scope for farming, okay? We don't realize that. We are so much dependent on the other states. Mogan alag state pra kini na khai. Itula paldo so mano chutu farm holibi khuli lelo 10-20 kauri thaligina. Apunan bi itula share de apuni bi ekta lo paro. At least apuni khali Wokha area club labi supplier hobo parichu lido. You will be in crorepati in no time. Okay, we understand that it's not possible to capture the whole or to supply the whole demand, but then we can start with something small. This year you supply 1,000 kilograms or 22,000 kilograms. Next year you will increase it to 7,000, 20,000 kilometers. In the next 10 to 15 years, you will already be a multimillionaire, right? So it's important. But very important is, apne kauri pale ase, sakuli pale ase, murgi pale ase, or murgi lado muine jne wali kauri pale ase guli do insurance kan mon bi premium subscribe kro lagi because inigala disaster hamde bishit mon loss khai. Okay. He informed the committee that African swine fever outbreak in Wokha town, Wokha village, Pangti, Pakti, and Chukitong resulted in the death of 374 pigs, causing a loss of estimated 1.4 crores. However, Hamsoy also highlighted progress under artificial insemination technology initiative launched in October 2024 in collaboration with the Krishi Vigyan Kendras, ICAR Wokha. So far, 165 inseminations have produced 1,350 piglets with an 81% success rate. So the program aims to improve the availability of superior piglets and reduce disease transmission. So itu lab type pra tan kiba kurigina bishide kauri bacha pala ase do na to kauri bacha kan to olop disease kan pra easily na parol lagan noliu no pungchol lagan quality produce kor pare gose. He also briefed the meeting on the livestock insurance scheme, that is very important livestock insurance scheme under National Livestock Mission implemented from May 2026, under which the department bears 85% of the insurance premium and beneficiaries contribute the remaining 15%. So the insurance sector 100 rupees la insurance sector kini shuguli do tade 85 rupees to government pra pay krobo department pra aro 15 rupees to apuni pra bi terawo lagyo na inigase. So other initiatives under the mission include the entrepreneurship development program and convergence activities were also highlighted. District Agriculture Officer Renatang Kikon presented updates on National Mission on Natural Farming and NMEO oil palm scheme, which covers 243 hectares across 14 villages. He also highlighted the lack of a district road at Ralan Block, forcing the field staff to travel via the Kohima, Chamukidima and Newland district, and reiterated the need for a separate subdivision. Kikon further said the transition to Aadhaar-based direct benefit transfer payments have made Aadhaar seeding, authentication, and NPCI mapping both time-consuming and manpower-intensive. We'll be touching this. Give me a minute. So we'll finish this verse. Nagaland unveils first 3D printed monolithic dentures. So the dental law, dentistla. Nagaland achieved a major milestone in dentistry with the fabrication of the state's first 3D printed monolithic complete dentures, with experts saying it would lower the risk of human error, reduce the patient visit, and enable a quicker delivery of the prosthetic. It was achieved during a workshop on the fabrication of the monolithic complete denture using Bolyjet 3D printer at Naka Hospital Authority, Kohima and HAC affiliated teaching hospital and IMSR NIMSR on July 4th last. Now around 30 dental professionals participated in the training program. The workshop was organized by the dental department of the NHAC in collaboration with AMTR and MTRON Kwati, DHFW and the NIMSR NIMSR, stated a press release received here. Child exploitation, a horrific crime. We fight such abuse on and off our platforms. Meta blogs. Meta on Tuesday published a detailed blog outlining the measures it has taken to combat child sexual abuse material across its apps, including ad review system, AI tools, and enforcement actions after the government slapped a notice on the social media chain of reports of Instagram ads promoting such content. Okay, from our exam perspective, it is also important to know the good and the bad side about social media. And we know the bad sides about social media. When we ask about good sides, many people fail to answer. But one important thing is, in everything in this world, there are good and bad. But if you एक check रखियो करने एक measure to keep a balance or to keep a check on it, there are also some provisions and restrictions. As much as there is this freedom of speech and expression, we also have some restrictions. Freedom to assemble freely and without arms. We have some restriction on top of that also. One peaceful democratic protest, but on top of that, there's also some restrictions. There are social media platforms, and there are some contents that are not good, I should say. In the past few months, we've also seen some very vulgar ads also that we were thinking that Instagram and Facebook were taken over by some other hackers and all. But the thing is, there were some loopholes maybe, and people were taking advantage of that. But it is said that Meta have taken their own course of action to address that issues. Terming child exploitation as a horrific crime, Meta said that every day it works aggressively to fight this kind of abuse on and off its platforms. We are aware of the recent news reports about Instagram ads in India that violated our policies against child exploitation. And we want to be clear, we take this concern seriously. We never want this content on our platforms, and we are committed to improving our efforts to combat it. It has noted. Meta said it was categorically inaccurate to suggest that it knowingly and deliberately targets ads featuring children to people based on an inappropriate interest. Quite the opposite, we use technology to identify accounts that have shown potentially suspicious activity related to children, and we have automatically removed over 4 million, that is 40 lakh of these accounts last year, Meta said. The Milano Park, California headquartered technology giant Meta owns popular social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Meta said that before the case were brought to its attention, its enforcement system has already identified and disabled several of the violating ads and the accounts behind them. Our subsequent investigation led to additional actions, including removing further ads, disabling accounts, and blocking URLs linked to policy violating content. Okay, so these were some of the steps that they have also taken. But one we feel correct, there should be some more stricter element na. Ito to happen hoigina bisite hi measures law lao jai. Holy be no kurule na parola something kiba kuri dibo lage. Because once something has happened, whatever has happened, ito to muan undo kuro na pare. Just that image to muan paradak control kuro try kore. It was it. Holy be what has happened. So our responsibility, that's why we say prevention is better than cure na. Prevent kurle hi bishi important ase. Hoipan hoigina bishi to cure kuro try kuran loina. So this Meta platform should also work on that one. Yet ito takan to action lo kan ikla tika ase. Holy be in fact what is important is happen be holy niti uli sab te takan technology to takan ponaw lage. Globally, last year alone, improvements to its technology led to an automatic removal of more than 4 million suspicious accounts from Facebook and Instagram, on top of the 36 million pieces of content it removed for child exploitation, according to social media company. We have advanced AI detection to set up to identify when the individuals post suspicious off-platform links in coordination with other signals indicating child exploitative activity. In the last 6 months alone, this led to the removal of 160,000 accounts. So iku interesting bi takan tigina nai. Okay, to kotabi. So the last week the government issued a stern notice to Meta on child sexual exploitative and abuse material, CSEAM, and in paid advertisement on Instagram. May that is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology ordered Instagram to disable all ads and content promoting and facilitating the access to CSEAM, and has also demanded a detailed explanation. So the action came after IT Minister Ashwini Kumar Yadav, oh no, sorry, Ashwini Vaishnav, directed Meiti, that is the Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology, officials to summon Meta over Instagram at allegedly promoting child sexual abuse materials. So we'll be doing one more article, BRICS. This will be the last article for today, and we'll do some MCQ that the Morung Express time to time tea tage. Itu silo, and then I'll go through your comment sections. Okay. BRICS countries adopt Guwahati Declaration to combat truck trafficking. Heads of anti-truck agencies from the BRICS countries on Tuesday adopted the Guwahati Declaration at the end of a two-day meeting here, reaffirming their commitment to strengthen cooperation to combat narcotics trafficking and related transnational organized crimes. The declaration underscored the need for timely exchange of information intelligence and the best practice among the members. So these BRICS countries, they have adopted a Guwahati Declaration. Okay. In the end of their, or at the end of their two-day session or meeting that was held on trucks. So the declaration also emphasized the promotion of innovative technologies, digital tools, and data-driven approaches to strengthen the law enforcement and regulatory efforts against those truck trafficking, it added. The BRICS countries expressed the concern over the evolving nature of the truck trafficking, proliferation of synthetic drugs, and new psychoactive substances, the diversion of precursor chemicals, misuse of emerging technologies and virtual assets, and exploitations of maritime roads and digital platforms by transnational criminal networks. BRICS, initially comprising of the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, expanded in 2024 to include Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, with Indonesia joining in 2025. BRICS PPC power study for your examinations and for your interviews and all. It's going to be very important. The grouping has emerged to be an influential bloc, bringing together 11 major emerging economies that accounts for, this is also important, the data, 49.5% of the world's population. Itu 11 major economies, itu 11 major countries, starting with Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. They account for 49% of the global population, 49.5%, and they own about 40% of the global GDP, world GDP. Aro 26% of the global trade is handled by these 11 major emerging economies. So we can see how important this BRICS is. Okay, BRICS to be powerful, right? So this BRICS is very powerful, slowly becoming very powerful. So you have to study that, and you also have to study the India's relationship with BRICS, or India's position in BRICS. Who is designated as the chairperson of the Nagaland Board of School Education? Sri A. Bitoho Chofi, he is the NPSC chairman. Okay, so he cannot be the one. W. Honje Gonyak is the ex-chairperson or chairman of the NPSC. Asano Sekosi, I think she is the secretary for NPSC, Nagaland Board of School Education. Amian Pachatembra, Amian graduate when the chop patak TV tai here. Itu mon NPSC laga kiki koporgan pam this ticket here signature Asano Sekona. Retire is no night that I'm not sure of this one. Okay, so the only option that is left with us is Rangkum Pueng and Sarangpe. Okay, he or she is the chairperson of the Nagaland Board of School Education now. Which services are covered by the ECNet, Election Commission of India Network, web portal, and mobile app? Then it should be voters registration no mwisho know your candidate pi ase. So which means they both options right ho kono option ikutina nai. So if these two options are right and you know these two are right, and even if you're not sure about this, the option that is given is all of the above. So high chances and high probability, the answer should be all of the above. And I think answer do it too. Which of the following State Entrepreneur Award 2025 recipient is incorrectly matched with their respective firms? Bisala Sangdam, Forever Handmade 21. Ito tahi ase, right ase. This is correct. So the question is asking on incorrect match. Okay. Imdisnab Longchari, Imdisnab Longchar Island No Service. Na ito mon la Amazon, Flipkart ito anisna thage. So this is our own nakalaga online marketing la ase de ito. Link bin audio, link clothing. Okay. Fashion la site ase. Tripod Timabor ito to mo bangi kuit ase. architectural digest kan dibi ai taki. So it is very important they are into architecture. Okay, so Tyson to as far as I can remember, it was not Escomo, so they were two old couples. Okay, so write their names in the comment section. Tripod Timapur. Okay, so answer to it was this is incorrectly matched. Okay, now very interesting. Tai laga itu friend ta nam to kushi paise. Forever Handmade 21. There's a company by the name Forever 21 na noi. To 21 Forever 21 to itu nam to already luli she. Holi bi ekta business te ase ki nam to kolo popular holi bi easy holai manon ki attract kro sabde. So she or he made a very interesting pizza la so magi ho bishi phal kam ekta korina. Forever 21 la macho te ekta word hali je handmade na. Forever Handmade 21. It sounds so premium na. So marketing to bishi phal korise. That's a very good idea. Very good, very good. Under the new Viksit Bharat guarantee for Roskar and Ajivika Mission Gramin Act 2025, how many days of employment are guaranteed? Moi bisi bar goise to puro lagi ona. This was Manreka, MJNRAGA. It was mentioned kona nai. So option is 125. Okay. In which category was Nagaland's Paralympic Hokato Hotozi Sema recently crowned world number 1? It was men's shot put F57 category, right? That was easy. So it was. So, chalo, we'll go to your comment section. Let's see what you have to share or ask. So, we'll go to your comment section. Here's your comments. Good evening, sir. Thank you. You're most welcome. Good evening, you do. Akum 123. Thank you, sir. You're most welcome. Newspaper only V1M. As always, your lecture has given a great boost to my preparation. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable guidance. You're most welcome, and I'm very happy that it has helped you boost your preparation. Okay. Nico J7J. Thank you, sir. You're most welcome. Brinjals P3M, thank you, sir. You're most welcome. Latok U8V, thank you, sir. You're most welcome. Gyrek, thank you, sir. You're most welcome. Ikati Kinimi, thoroughly gained wonderful insights from the last two articles. Yeah, thank you so much. And I've also really enjoyed that last two articles. Okay, Mobi Bishi learn question nutun kan. So that's good. That's good. That's such a good observation, Ikati Kinimi. And I'm happy that you have learned some wonderful insights. Humor 45, welcome to Toppers Academy Morung Express newspaper analysis, and I'm happy to see that we have a new viewer, okay, or say new subscriber go, because if you've been following my news, you know that Sunday to Mon kept it again. So since you're new, it probably to Chanina Tahanebare. So welcome, okay, welcome. On Sundays we will take rest. That Avana Nicho Purilubi. Or Monday to Saturday, I try to cover as much as I can. Okay, so Humor 45, welcome to Toppers Academy Morung Express newspaper analysis. We welcome you. Okay, may you have a very wonderful and informative journey, and may it help you in your preparation journey. Moa Imsong, red hole mining is the predominant mining technique in the state of Nagaland under Nagaland Coal Mining Policy 2006 due to its scattered nature of the coal deposit making large-scale operation infeasible. Yes, Nagaland coal is predominantly of tertiary type, found primarily in the Parallel Range or say Parallel Group rocks. Its deposit range from the sub-bituminous to the bituminous T crank. The type of coal found in the state of Nagaland are as follows. Bituminous coal is the best found in Nagaland, mostly in the Mon in the Tiru Valley, Nagini Mura, and the Mawakchung in the Changi and Northern Kar coal blocks. Lignite or brown coal, lowest quality found mostly in Mawakchung and Mon. Pongli Konyak, Pongli Konyak, thank you, sir. Sir, your voice is just like okay. Tunya de manu face iki kibi pishi thage goi. So awas ikibi pishi thage wo. So I hope we'll meet him one day also. Aro mujuna awas milena tuan karne. Good morning, officers. Kobo. Good afternoon, officer. Koi saode. So Pongli Konyak, thank you're most welcome. Okay. So that's it. I mean comments to tadi katamu. So those who have cleared your NPSC mains, apunan karne mock test rakitina je, mock interview, sorry. If you are a Toppers Academy student, then I think it will be free for you, and if not, then I think there will be some subscription charges or whatever. But then in Kohima it will be tomorrow, and in Dimapur I think it's day after tomorrow, date 9 and 10. So apunan China to mock test to mock interview to tis halibi pali ase apunan self assessment kurbo. Our experts kan aibo ESC rank kan maibo for former IPS pe aibo chances ase, and then they will guide you through your interview journey, and they will give some suggestions for improvements. Okay, and the rest NSSB NPSC prelims kan prepare kore, and also for the other kind of exams. Now is July, so August, September, October, you just have 3 months. So you have to keep these 2 months as your preparation period, and October to fully revision like even October fully is very less for revision. Okay, so moon jikina purvi ita to 1-2 hours pura pass no, you have to study for 10-12 hours. Just imagine you're going to compete with someone who is studying 14-12 hours every single day, and do you think that you'll clear by studying just 2 to 4 hours? That's not possible. Okay, so you really need to focus on that one. All right, and invest your time, invest your focus, and give your heart and soul this time. Prepare gravy, and World Cup chai thakibo tippets kan dibi nugusibi tai bhal tai biya tai ne bole charbi. That's not our concern. You just have to study. Okay, takan chitilibi nijitlibi apuni mui ko na pao na itu sob charbi. Apuni to government job itu tibule ase guli to government job paile hoise. So with that being said, we'll end our session here for tonight. And may you all have a very productive evening, a very good night, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.